Hello, my name's Artemis, and isn't it lovely when you join this fandom? I mean, you see all these really cool things online about furries. They go out and they fursuit, and they get artwork made, they even become artists, they go to conventions, and it's a wonderful big part of their life that really fills that hole that's been inside them for so long, and then the hole isn't filled fully, and suddenly you're still feeling like an outsider, or that you're not a part of something, and then this big thing that was supposed to mean so much isn't actually meaning what you thought it would mean. What the fuck happened? You came here looking to be a part of something and to join in and have all of these wonderful experiences you've seen online, and you've done that and you don't feel included. You don't feel right. You just don't feel like this is a big thing and that you're not a part of it. How do I get past that? How do I deal with this? Is there a blue doggo who can help me? Yes. There fucking is. It's me, Community Service Artemis, here to tell you all why you're feeling like this and how you can make it better. Or at least my perspective on it. I'm not claiming to be fucking knowledgeable about this shit, but I do understand where all of this comes from, and I feel like I can help some folks out with it. I mean, I can try at least, and you can't ask more than that. Unless you pay, but let's go through it. Let's find out. I hope it's not news to everybody that social media is just a huge illusion where people cherry pick the very best of their lives and decide to put it on blast. Or at least when they're not, trauma dumping and generally being a whiny little bitch, but that's a whole other video. One that I think I've already made. Now, whether it's fur meets, conventions, general social gatherings and hangouts, whatever it may be, what you're seeing is incredibly heavily skewed towards the positive. It is a really glamorized, fantasized view of look how amazing everything is. Look at this amazing FurCon and how much fun we had fursuiting. Look at how amazing this lovely natural location was and how amazing it was to be out there with friends. Look at all of the good times me and my friends share without any fucking drama. But don't get me wrong, a lot of what you're seeing is true. It's just not the whole truth. It's not complete. It's not 100%. And there's a lot of stuff that is also happening that you're just not seeing. Believing that what you're seeing is the only thing that's happening and that there is no other side to it is where you're going wrong. People are not able to see the full picture because the full picture is not being presented to you. And the problem with that is that it's allowing you to set your expectations sky fucking high to the point where reality can never actually catch up. Because reality is boring, mundane shit. Reality is drama. Reality is not everything is 100% amazing 100% of the time. And that becomes very soul-crushing when you've not gone into it with that very common sense idea. The fear of missing out is, of course, something I feel we all struggle with. In fact, it's what drove me to the fandom. Seeing all of these other people having this amazing good time and feeling themselves and feeling so incredibly isolated and alone because you're not a part of it is a very powerful thing. Now, I've already spoken about how we inflate our expectations based off the things that we see and how dangerous it is to do that because it sets our expectations to an unattainable high. But that's not the only problem that all of this throws up. Now, the problem is that FOMO tends to make you chase after the things that you were fearing missing out on. If you're seeing people going out and about fursuiting in public, you tend to want to do the same thing, but instead of it being what you saw on this cute video where everybody loved it, it was actually really scary and really kind of embarrassing almost to be out there so exposed and vulnerable. But, you went to a FurCon and decided, I'm going to have a really good time at a FurCon. I'm going to do all the stereotypes that I see people doing. I'm going to do the dealer's den, the dance con, and I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I thought I would. In fact, actually, there's a lot of waiting around and queuing at cons and a lot of smell, and it's not exactly the beautiful glamorized view I thought it would be. But I also see people doing these really cool road trips with friends and they're going out fursuiting in nature. But it was like 6 hours of driving and it cost us a lot of money in gas. And then we all got a little cranky because we were fursuiting in the heat. And it wasn't actually as fun as it looked in those 5 Instagram photos that made it look like the best time ever. What did I do wrong? Actually, that's a really good point. What the fuck happened? There were so many good times to be had. You saw other people having good times. Why couldn't you get that? What did you do wrong? What did you do differently? How come everybody else seems to make it work and you didn't? Unless maybe you're just seeing what the reality is. And maybe you're experiencing what they experienced. Only now you're seeing the full picture rather than that really glamorized slice that they wanted you to see. Now, it's pretty clear that poorly managed expectations are a big fucking problem when it comes to all of this thing, but the true root cause that you need to address can be a little harder to pinpoint and nail down. A very simple cycle you see people repeating all the goddamn time is that when we don't know what it is we actually want that will make us happy and whole, we tend to just copy what we see, because if we don't know what it is, well, I trust that person, they must know what it is. And if they're happy with that, then I must be happy with that. You do what is expected. You do what is seen. And unfortunately, that very rarely matches up with what exactly it is you need in your life. This isn't even exclusive to the furry experience. I've got a family member, for fuck's sake, who did the very stereotypical, went to university and studied, got a job because it was expected, got a girlfriend because it was expected, got married because that's what was expected, had kids because that was what was expected, and now boom, he's in his 50s, he's come out as gay, and everything is crumbling the fuck apart because he was chasing what he thought would make him happy based on other people's lives and expectations. He never did the work to figure out what exactly it was he was looking for, and now that he is doing that, oh, there's hell to pay for it. This cycle is incredibly toxic, but it is also universal. And if it happens out in the real world, of course it's going to happen in the furry fandom. Figuring out what exactly it is you're looking for and how you want to find it is crucial to actually attaining it. Now, you might be able to figure out that you like something by experiencing it or not like it by experiencing it, but ultimately you need to look at the real root of what exactly that thing is. Now, you might want to go to a fur meet because it looks exciting, because the people you see are having a great time. But that means that you're looking for excitement and a great time. What does that mean to you? Because it might not be the exact same experience that you've seen someone else do. As you'll likely learn when you're sweating your tits off at 4 AM at a rave that you're not enjoying. Now, this only speaks to experiences, though. When you mix in the whole social aspect, it gets a whole lot trickier. Entering into this highly social fandom of ours brings with it the expectation of being highly social yourself. Hopefully you can already see the implicit dangers in such a thing if you are not a highly social person. You have to build some massive circle and maintain it, which is a very tall order. And when you want to make friends, you typically start doing the sort of things everyone does when they make friends. They look for similar interests, which means when you're a fursuiter, a content creator, an artist, a fursuit maker, a dancer, a musician, whatever, you're going to look for more of the same. And the most visible ones will be content creators with a big following, or just generally anyone with a big following that you look up to, and you start to talk and it's all wonderful and lovely, and you start to build this relationship based on those things. Collaborations are so incredibly fun, especially when you can share this creative joy with someone who also shares it. It's lovely, it's wonderful, and you get these opportunities to meet your fucking idols that you put up on a pedestal and see how amazing they are. And sometimes that's great. You know, I had my own fursuit crush when I joined this fandom. The person whose vines really got me into it, I actually got to meet them and it was lovely. They weren't a piece of shit, which was amazing. I've also had people that I wanted to meet who were a piece of shit. I'm not going to name names, but I was like, oh, shit, don't meet your heroes, I guess. The problem is, when we see these amazing creators that we want to befriend and idolize, we tend to build up in our head a certain set of expectations that it is not their responsibility to live up to, because they're usually wrong, and sometimes these people are not exactly what you were looking for, and that's not their fault. It's actually, no offense, but it's kind of yours for having that sort of illusion take over and take control. And essentially the point I'm trying to make here is that when you're solely making a relationship based on this collaboration, based on this mutual interest rather than an actual connection with that person, there's not a huge amount of security that it's actually going to be that enriching for you, because it's based off of this physical thing that you all seem to enjoy, rather than whether or not you are compatible people that will last together. Now, don't get me wrong, it is lovely that you can go out and have these great times with people and that you can collaborate and make TikToks and pictures and have all of this stuff to show for it. But that's not a guarantee that they're going to be right for you. And that's not a guarantee that this relationship is anything more than just that. Creating content. I mean, I've had people that I thought were going to become really close friends of mine, and no, we were just making videos. It was almost like work in the end, because we weren't chatting, we weren't connecting, and it wasn't a good match. And it took me a while to break out of the fantasy that I built for myself, because it was ultimately my lack of vision that sort of led to that, believing that illusion. And if I can snap you out of it quicker, then yay. And that's not to say that just because all you're doing is making videos that you can't connect with these people, but you need to look deeper than that. Otherwise, you're going to end up with something fairly hollow that you've put a whole lot of weight onto, and maybe it can't carry that weight. Now, I have long made a very stark distinction between a mate and a friend in my life. A mate is someone that you chat to, you get on pretty well, you vibe, but ultimately it's a very base level of friend. A real friend, a true person, is your ride or die. They know you, you know them. There is an unbreakable bond there. The people that I worked with were good mates. I could chat with them, I could talk about what was going on, but they never really knew anything about me or my life, and same for them, even though they told me the whole fucking lot because they didn't understand this distinction. The people who actually stick around in my life, the people that really do mean something to me, my found family, are people that know me intimately, perhaps more than I even know myself, and vice versa. We help with problems, we are connected, we are bonded, we have a shorthand. And I feel that not recognizing that there are different tiers to friendship is perhaps where some people are going wrong. Now, I will say, of course, this is not how everybody operates, and it doesn't have to be. Now, I am definitely in the camp that if I'm going to make $1, I'm going to want 4 quarters rather than 10 dimes, or however the fuck the currency works over here. I seek a smaller circle where each person has more value, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a bigger circle and still have your needs met. That's just the crucial part. Your needs being met according to your needs. And if you're starting to feel this way with a very large group, then perhaps your needs are not being met. You need to figure out a way to make sure that they are. Now, if you're feeling a little disconnected or a little out of place, then maybe it's because what you're actually looking for is a group of friends, real, true, bonded friends, and what you've got is a group of mates. And that depth that you're looking for, that real bond and connection, just isn't there. Maybe you're starting to feel like if you don't keep up appearances with your fursuit or your following or your general persona, that these people won't stick around because ultimately that's what they're there for. And maybe you're starting to realize that you're actually looking for something a bit more beyond the superficial, I really like your stuff, and into, I really like who you are as a person and want to have you as part of my life. Maybe realizing that, and that's exactly what you're looking for, is what you need to help you find that. That's not even a maybe, it is. That's exactly how it works. Now, I have seen a lot of people seemingly feeling a bit of disconnection with the fandom as of late, and it can come from a lot of reasons. I mean, for instance, if you came to this fandom looking for something and you found it, then the actual fandom itself isn't going to mean as much to you because you're no longer using it to search that thing. You found it, and that's wonderful, that's amazing. And typically, if you're going to stay within the fandom, you're going to reconfigure what exactly it means to you, and maybe it'll be a slightly less significant thing when the thing you were looking for takes over that role of significance. It's generally a good thing, but sometimes it does lead you to feeling like, oh, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But in reality, it's just you had it on a huge pedestal and now it's just balancing out. On the other hand, that you have come to this fandom looking for something and you are yet to find it, it becomes about the investment. It becomes about, oh, am I actually going to find this thing? How do I go about finding it? Why haven't I found it yet? And unfortunately, sometimes that comes down to accepting that what you were looking for was a fantasy. It was not real, and that you're not actually going to be able to find it because it doesn't exist. And that feels very sharp, that feels very horrible to have to admit to yourself, but it's actually a good thing, because now that you can clear that illusion out of the way, you can start looking at what you're truly looking for. You can start finding the root thing that you are searching and reconfigure everything so that you can seek that out. But in the case that you're still looking for what you're actually looking for in the fandom and you haven't found it yet, then perhaps you've just reached a plateau. Perhaps you are stagnating. Perhaps what you have been doing is not working. And until you break that cycle, it's not really going to get any better. And that could be where the disconnection is coming from. You are just stagnant. Now, when I joined this fandom, I thought I had found my tribe. I thought I had found the people that were my ride or dies and I would stick with forever. Not a single one of those people is still a significant part of my life. In fact, I don't speak to any of them anymore. It's not because they're bad people. It's not because everything was wrong and broken. It's because you don't always find what you're looking for on the first go around. And sometimes it comes from different patterns and different routines. Now, I found these people and they were the first that I found. But there's a little song that I like, which is, the chorus of it is, am I the best or just the first person to say yes? They were the first people to say yes. They were not the best. And the people that are the best came to me in ways I would not anticipate. The first of my little found family found me randomly at a Furmy, and we just gelled and got on, and they seen my content and found me funny. Second one started off as a really kind of creepy, shady DM offering to bring me to America for a convention. Out of the blue. He's one of the closest people I know now. The next one of my little found family was just a friend of that guy who we just sort of connected with at a convention, and then they ended up officiating my wedding. Fuck, my own husband started off as a fanboy DM message that I didn't even seriously talk to him about for a year until we started chatting. Sometimes these things come out of nowhere, and sometimes you've got to break out of the cycle you're used to and open yourself up to the possibility that what you're looking for is out there. It's just not where you're looking for it right now. Different social circles, different skill sets, different parts of the fandom, different cons, different meets, different everything can be an avenue to allowing you to find what it is you are looking for and feel that fulfillment that you have been searching for since the day you looked at an anthro character and thought, damn, I wish I was that. It's attainable, it's just It's outside your comfort zone sometimes, and sometimes it's outside of your immediate area and you have to go searching for it. Take it from someone who moved 4,500 miles away to be with a husband. Sometimes you just don't find what you're looking for within 10 minutes drive, and that's okay. If you really want it, you'll go out and you'll find it. And it's all about doing that. Get out of the comfort zone. Get out of the same cycles that you're stuck in. Sometimes when you're fishing, you have fished a certain spot in the river dry. You got to pick up your stuff and move downstream or upstream. I don't know. I don't fish. And try again. And that's exactly the same thing here. Don't be disheartened by it. We all make mistakes. We're all on a journey. The only reason this thing's going to fall apart is if you stop trying. Never stop trying. Just try some different stuff. God damn, we went with the psychoanalysis this week, didn't we? I hope this made some sort of sense, and I hope that it resonated with some folks, because I've seen quite a few people saying that they feel left out, they don't feel a part of this fandom, they're still not really getting what they were looking to get out of it, and I think that's sad, and I think that I can help with that, I guess, with some advice, but it's mostly because I've been there myself and I understand it. I understand functionally how you get to this point, and you don't have to stay in that point, as I hope I have illustrated. You can always change things up and find exactly what it is you're looking for, but you've got to have the right idea of it all, and you've got to have the right perspective to get it done, because it's not easy, and it does take a lot of work to try and figure all of that stuff out, but you can do it. I believe in you. Kind of. You should believe in yourself, that's the important thing anyway. But you should also believe that you can pay me money to see my feet, because there we go. I'm not even going to try and make that smooth as a transition. Like, it's jarring when I talk about serious stuff and this pops up. So fuck it, just lean into the jarring aspect of it. Have a little look if that's what you're into. If you're not, then have a look at the Patreon, because there's other ways you can pay me money. And I can keep making these points and keep talking and keep YouTubing and keep living and existing and eating. Oh, God, I do like that eating. That general existing thing's pretty fucking good. So if you could help out with that, I'd be much appreciative. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully this was a good video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it made sense. And hopefully you'll see me again next week talking about whatever it is I'm talking about next week. But thanks for watching, I guess. Bye.